Hey Jason, Coach Brandon here, and right now we are in a seminar in LA at Dodger Stadium, which is really cool. But we're on a lunch break now, and this would be a great time for me to go ahead and look at your videos using a new software. So let's go ahead and start it up first by looking at your videos together and giving my thoughts. All right. So the first thing that we can notice here is that I would very much like your elbows to be in a little better position under the bar. The reason this is because your lats are actually a spinal stabilizer, and we want to treat the beginning of a squat, actually the whole squat, similar to a lat pull down exercise. Want to pull the barbell down, depress our scapula, and really utilize our lats, which, like I said, are a spinal stabilizer. I'm also noticing a little bit of wrist deviation up here, so let's go ahead and do possibly some tissue work or some kind of shoulder mobility drill before we squat and try to accomplish a better position here, which will definitely help both in stability and just the overall effectiveness of your squat. As you can see with that breath that you just took, it was very chesty, you could say. It was primarily came through the chest, and what we want to do is have a diaphragmatic breath. And you can see in the squat, it actually demonstrates it really well. The issue that we're having here is we even go into extension, lumbar extension, while we're breathing in. So if we look at that one more time, notice what your lumbar does as you take in that chest breath. There we go. So it just extends like that. So the second you notice that you take a chest breath, we're passively lengthening our abdominals, which is the last thing we want to fully stabilize and have a good brace for our squat. So my suggestion would be to work on diaphragmatic breathing and possibly loosen your belt a little bit, because oftentimes people wear belts so tight that they don't even give their body an opportunity to brace effectively and breathe diaphragmatically. So let's go ahead and work on those two things. And as you can see, if you ascend in your squat, that's extension there. So we're at the top. We're going through quite a bit of extension, primarily because of our lack of bracing, or our chest breath initiating our bracing, but also because we need to work on our hinging mechanics. Hinging mechanics are going to be really, really important for the top of the squat. And if we're just bending mostly at the waist without hinging properly, you'll notice quite a bit of extension and a reduced power output. And that rep even had a little bit of flexion on the bottom. So really the biggest thing we need to do, this can contribute to some extension, but realistically the biggest thing causing it is the chest breath. So the big three things that we need to work on, I'll go ahead and turn this camera around for that. Big three things we need to work on. First and foremost, we need to work on our starting position. Going from here to here. Again, lats are spinal stabilizer. We have to keep them fully contracted throughout the lift for it to be effective and stabilized to our maximal capacity. The next thing is going to be avoiding the chest breath. When we breathe, we want to do so 100% diaphragmatically, even when we have a belt on. And oftentimes, when someone takes a deep chest breath, they immediately go into a lumbar extension. And as you can see in the video, just taking the breath sent you into lumbar extension, which causes energy leaks, reduced ability to stabilize, reduced power output, and increased risk of injury. So what we really need to focus on more than anything, actually, is just our bracing mechanics. The third and final thing we need to do is work on hinging mechanics. Hinging is very, very important at the top of the squat. If we do not hinge properly, that's another way that we can go into slight extension or even flexion on the bottom. So the biggest things are getting better at controlling our lumbar portion of our spine and improving our starting position and hinging mechanics throughout our squat. Now, overall, you have a very nice squat. It's not bad by any means. Just a few things we can do to optimize it. I'll go ahead and send you some content helping better describe each one of those things and some drills to help perfect some of the things that we want to work on. I think that's about it, though.